guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've done a video like this, but you guys know that I moved across the country, I've changed jobs, I've been giving you content on the blog, it's just not been videos. You know, I have a little toddler now and she's running around like crazy. She gets into everything. So, you know, whenever I can find some me time, you know, I try to get this done. So I'm back and ready to give you some fresh new videos. This one I kind of want to talk about millennials. I know that I've written some articles about millennials and us being, you know, the new it thing. However, I think that I kind of want to touch deeper on some topics I feel like aren't really highlighted in a lot of conversations, you know, among us. So let's get right to it. I'm ready to jump in. I hope you guys are too. So let's start off. So my first topic would be, since I did mention that I moved across the country, I want to talk about making that big move and going after your dream job. For me, you know, my big move was first Florida, Kentucky to Florida. That was a big move because I was a year, maybe under a year out of college. I was starting a new job in the TV industry. A lot of you guys know I'm a TV news producer. However, I want to do entertainment news, so like I felt like Kentucky was not just, it just wasn't the place for me. There was no growth there for entertainment news. There's no big, you know, networks there. There's no O&Os there. So even though I started in a top 50 market, it was time for me to get out. So when the opportunity presented itself, I moved to Jacksonville. Like you guys know, you guys been following me, you know, on social media or whatnot. So when I moved there, it was great. It was a great start. I was young, 23, I think, 23. You know, me and Isaac, we were engaged. So everything was fresh for us. And having him helped a lot, but like still moving away from my family so far away, that was a lot within itself. So I feel like, you know, when we make these decisions, we got to understand the sacrifices that we're giving up. And I feel like millennials nowadays, we want more. So we move a lot. We're nomadic. You know, we do not stay in one place at all. And, you know, because you thrive on that. You want to grow. And a lot of us, we take those big leaps of faith and we just hope for the best. And then, so my second big move was obviously out here to Arizona. I absolutely love it here. I work for the Fox owned and operated station here, so that's awesome. I've never worked for an owned and operated station, so this is my third station. I feel like I'm working my way up the career ladder as a news producer and hopefully, like I said, an entertainment producer and a talk show host. That's my ultimate goal, so that's why I want to touch on these things, because I feel like, you know, being young and in your mid-20s, you know, that's the time to go get it. And a lot of us, you know, we're going after. I see a lot of people on my Facebook stream and on my Twitter and Instagram feed, like going back to school, you know, starting new jobs, starting new careers. And I think that's great because that's what being a millennial is about. I feel like I'm a millennial through and through, especially when it comes to going after my dream job. And I see a lot of you guys out there doing that. And I think that it's awesome. Like, I don't know, it just excites me. I love seeing people succeed. However, I know that a lot of it takes sacrifices and hard work. So for my experience, you know, I'm out here now in Arizona and I'm like, I feel like I'm one step closer to LA, although my dream, you know, job is in New York City working for the Today Show or something like that. But I mean, LA's nice. I haven't been there yet. I'm going soon. But I feel like, you know, I'm one step closer to what I want to do. And I feel like if I hadn't, you know, put my faith in God and put my faith in my husband to agree to do these things, that it wouldn't fall into place. And I think that, you know, we get scared. But not only did I put my faith in, you know, my husband supporting me and wanting to move out here with my family, I had to put my faith in myself and in God, and to trust that, you know, he would guide me on the right path. And I feel like you have to understand what you're giving up. I mean, we gave up thousands of miles between our other family. I'm here with my parents, but I mean, we still have family in Louisville, and, you know, Luna's other half of her family's there. So, you know, we sacrificed that so that I could be in a better position, Isaac can be in a better position, and Luna can be in a better position when she grows up. So I think that's, you know, important to understand that even though you made those sacrifices, you're still doing it for the right reason. So go after that dream job. You know, don't let anybody hold you back, and don't wait. You know, don't wait for anybody. If somebody tells you they're going to do something, you know, they're going to do it. If they do, they do. You know, they don't, they don't. But it has to be up to you to, like, push it, you know, and get there so that way you can make it happen for yourself, because at the end of the day, yourself matters. So I feel like as a millennial, you know, we need to jump on chances. I think too many times we get comfortable and we're like, okay, this is comfortable for me. But at the end of the day, it's really not that great, because you're just stagnant and you're not growing and you're not challenging yourself. So for me, like, you know, I'm working towards getting into the entertainment industry, and I feel like, you know, me jumping, I gave myself 8 months at my first job. I grew, and I knew that I grew, and it was becoming less of a challenge every day, and I wanted more. I didn't get more, so when another opportunity presented itself, I was able to stay there for a little longer, 2 years. I grew, I learned so much more, and then I felt like I grew out of that too, because like I said, my dream job is in entertainment, not in news. So now I'm at a place where I'm doing both, and I like it. You know, it's fun, and you know, hopefully it grows into something more. But I think that you have to like, you know, accept the things that we don't want, because they're just tests and they're just trials and they're just, you know, things there to help us grow. Like right now, unfortunately, I still work on a weekend. However, I feel like, you know, this is just a test, you know, and a trial that God's putting me through. And I feel like, you know, He wouldn't put me in this position if, you know, He didn't think that it was right for me. So I'm holding on to that faith, because today I read a Bible verse saying that, you know, it's something like we follow by faith, not by sight. So I agree with that. You know, I put my faith in hoping to get my dream job, and I think that it's going to work out for me, you know, one day, sooner than I think, you know. So moving on, I think that covered a lot, you know, making those sacrifices, and I want to kind of transition to making sacrifices, how I mentioned Luna. I want to transition into, you know, talking about something I think millennial women face the most, misogyny. I feel like we suffer from that because, especially if you're a mom and you're a working mom, in the days before us, our parents and maybe their parents were stay-at-home moms. My mom wasn't. I've seen her work. So to me, this doesn't apply. However, I think that a lot of women used to stay at home, used to tend to the kids, used to cook, clean, do whatever. And now it's like you're frowned upon when you're working. Like, I mean, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, if I had the option and the funds, maybe I would, but I'd probably still be doing this, creating content for my followers, because that's still what I want to do. Like, I want to do good, I want to work, and I want to have my own business. However, I think that we a lot of times get, put down, and I can give you a perfect example. So in my industry, it demands a lot of your time. And when I say a lot, like, the managers, they don't care about you. They don't care about your personal life. All they care about is that you're there to show up and do a good job. And while, I obviously want to show up and do a good job, I do have a personal life, and I do have to, worry about my child outside of work. So anyway, a professional experience that I had with this was, when I was moved to weekends at one of my jobs, not the current one that I'm at, I explained to my manager that, with me just having a baby, it was pretty hard, and that it just wasn't gonna work for me. I didn't have a babysitter for the weekends. Daycare wasn't on the weekends. I don't know any daycare, not any good ones at that. And so I was basically told, figure it out. And this was a male manager, and I felt like, wow, you don't really care about me, and I'm your employee. Don't you want to make me happy? Don't you want me to stay and work with you? And not only did he say figure it out, he basically told me his wife, made sacrifices and, stepped down from positions just so he could be where he's at. Well, I am the wife, so I'm not going to step down. I'll do anything for my husband, to help my husband get to where he needs to be in life, but what I won't do is belittle myself for, and it cut myself short. So I was like, wow, you know, like my home manager, you know, someone who I felt like should have cared about me and what I wanted. Even regardless, we should have worked it out. But basically for you to tell me to figure it out, that said a lot. And that's when I knew right then that I'm always gonna have a hard time being a woman, and specifically being a black woman. I'm not gonna get into race because it is what it is. But being a woman, I was like, wow, I was hurt. So I knew that this wasn't the only instance I was gonna have. This wasn't the only situation I was gonna face. So I feel like, you know, this is a conversation millennial women do not have at all, or it's not a conversation among millennials. And I think that we have to really try to overcome it and still be strong and prove them wrong. I'm proving everybody wrong at all my jobs that I've had to show them that I can do it. You said I couldn't because you didn't want me to, because you had your favorites, or you know, you like somebody, you thought that they had more experience. Just because they have more experience doesn't mean that they're better. They just have more time in the business. So, you know, if you're watching this and you're a woman, a millennial woman, you know, understand that we can overcome. You just gotta keep pressing on, and don't settle. Don't sell yourself short. You know, they're gonna tell you, oh, well, you know, sorry, figure it out, you can't do it. Oh, because you're a working mom, I'm sorry, I don't care. You know, we're gonna hear that. But it's up to us to say, you know what, who cares? You might think that, but I can do whatever I want. So you know what, I pressed on. I proved him wrong in my review. Got a great review, you know, and then now here I am in a top 12 market doing what maybe he thought I couldn't do, you know? And while that was just one situation I overcome, it made me realize that like women really are belittled. And then like the situation with breastfeeding, you know, I breastfed and breastfed proudly in public. No, I didn't fling my breast around so that everybody could see it, but I did it because I was feeding my child, and that's something I wanted to do. And now men are telling us, oh, well, you know, you can't breastfeed in public, that's gross. But yet somebody's walking around with her half naked and she's getting thousands and thousands of likes. That's that's just misogyny, you know? That's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. It really blows my mind how men think, you know, I'm feeding somebody else's, you know, some man's child. So for you as a man to put me down and you got kids, you know, how would your wife feel? How would your girlfriend feel? How would your fiance feel? So, you know, like, as women, I think we need to step up, and we have to have, you know, we have to show them that we have our own brains. We can speak for ourselves, you know, because this time is cutthroat. You know, we're still fighting for our rights as women, and it's ridiculous. So I think millennial women are on the right track. I see a lot of entrepreneurs on my timeline, a lot of business starters, a lot of young moms who I think are great, doing what they want to do, doing what they can do so that their kids can see them. And guess what? They're watching and they see you. So kudos to you guys. And you know, that's what I want for myself. I want to be great and amazing so Luna can grow up and say, I want to be just like my mom. And instead of me saying, no, I want you to be better, heck yeah, I want you to be like me, because I made it to the top and I want you to make it to the top too. That's what I want to say to her. And that's what I want her to see me in a light that nobody else can see me in, that only I see me in. And I hope that, you know, she says, you know what, my mom's a strong woman, an independent woman who can take care of herself, but also loves her family too. So, you know, millennial women, we need to step up. We need to step up and do what they say that we can't, because we can. And I see you guys doing it. I want to use this specific segment of the video to encourage young moms, because the choices that you made and the choices that I made doesn't make us any less right or, you know, more wrong than the next woman who doesn't have a kid that's your age. I know a lot of millennial women who had kids, you know, right out of high school, some at the end of high school, some in college. But all the ones that I do know, they're doing their thing. They have careers, they are taking care of their kids, and they're doing it amazing, doing an amazing job. And I feel like, you know, that gets overlooked because they're young and they're parents. And I feel like, for me, like, When I was pregnant at my last job, and you know, one of the girls I worked with, you know, she was probably maybe 2 years older than me. She'd always say, I would never have a kid. You know, I don't want to have kids. Then I can't live my life. I'm living my life. I'm living my best life. And so is my child. She has everything she wants. I mean, I don't know, she's one, but she has everything a 1-year-old could want. You know, she has done so much in her first year of life. I know she won't remember it, but it's just an example of the kind of parent I am and the position I'm in, well, me and my husband is in, that we can provide for our child and give her whatever she wants and make her life easier. We're young and we're making great money. We have great jobs. We're living comfortably. We're doing our thing. So like, just because we're young parents doesn't make us any less different from the next person who doesn't. Just because that's your preference, I would never say that having a child won't put things on hold, because it won't. If anything, it would make having a child would make, you know, life a little bit easier. It gives you a little extra push because you want to do better. So for all those women who feel like, or look at, you know, social media feeds and feel like, well, dang, did I start my family too early? Or what am I doing? Like, they're out partying and doing this and doing that. Just remember that just because they're doing that on social media does not mean they're happy in real life. And even they can be happy in real life, but that's just because that's their preference. That's, you know, what they want to do. You know, you might feel somebody is in, you know, a higher position than you just because, you know, you had a child and you got married younger. Well, that's not the case. Like, it doesn't stop you from doing anything, and I feel like I'm a living testimony to that. I mean, I specifically this is the age I wanted to have a kid. Like, I see myself, even when I was younger, being married and having a kid and being a successful woman, and I feel like I've halfway achieved that. I mean, I'm successful. I don't have my dream job, so that's why I say halfway. But I feel like I've achieved majority of that. I have my family, I have my child, I have my husband, a great child. I have my parents who are a great support system. So I feel like I just don't understand why some women are like looking down, like, oh, you're a young parent, you know, you can't have fun. Nothing in my life changed. If anything, I became a better person. I've done more. I get to relive my childhood through my child's eyes. Other millennial women down about being, you know, a young parent, or even asking, oh, how old are you? Because I got that. Somebody recently came to me and was like, oh, you know, I'm looking for a roommate. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I have a family and, you know, so sorry. She was like, how old are you? What does that matter? Like, I know I look young sometimes, but why does that matter? Like, I can be young, married, and still doing my thing, you know? I'm having fun and I'm living life, so, you know, and I want to say that to all the other women who face those kinds of questions or those snarky looks or hear those snarky comments. Just because that's your preference about not wanting to have a kid right now, okay. But, you know, speaking of moving forward, I want to talk about relationships. I can only speak from a standpoint of being in a relationship, but I know people who are in situationships, and this was a topic that was thrown at me. First of all, I've been in a relationship since I was 18 years old with the same guy. I mean, we just clicked. He knew what he wanted as for a woman, and I knew what I wanted for a man. We both knew that we wanted to, I don't know why we wanted to settle down at 18, but we wanted to. Going into college, I remember telling myself, like, I'm not there to look for no guy. I'm there to get my degree and start my life. And just got lucky with him coming along and him being the one. Like, honestly, I don't even remember how to date. Like, I probably suck at it. But anyways, like, for those of you who are in relationships, you know, it's great. It's amazing. You know it. But don't ever think, you know, you got into a relationship too early or too young because of your age, because I know, like, that happens, and then, you know, you feel like you miss out, but you're not. Like, I didn't want to date around. I'm glad that I got my man and snatched him up, because now a lot of guys are not, they were just in a time where being single and having the freedom to do whatever they want to do is the thing. And I think that brings me to situationships. And I feel like, you know, when a woman is in a situationship, when she's dating, you know, different guys, and not be, you know, she's looked down upon. But why? When she just wants to find, you know, somebody she truly can connect with and can see herself living the rest of her life with. Or a situationship can also be looked at as, you know, are you afraid of commitment? You probably need to ask yourself that. Like I said, I can't really speak on being in a situationship, but I know those are the things, and I wanted to touch on that because somebody threw that at me. And I feel like, you know, people who are in situationships, millennials, they're just not ready to settle down, and that's okay. Because I think when we put ourselves in a box and we say, okay, well, I'm a millennial because, you know, I relate to these characteristics that are millennial types, doesn't necessarily, I mean, there's different millennials, you know, because for one, I think the age goes up to about 34, 35. So you have to think that the people in their 30s are already like at a place in their life where they're kind of sliding out of the millennial box. Sorry, I hate to say it. But when I think of a millennial, I think of somebody in their early to mid 20s to like 30, from 20 to 30. That's the age group I think of because that's the age group I grew up in. I mean, I'm in it. And I feel like, you know, first half of the 20s, you know, a lot of people are, you know, figuring life out. I mean, just because I've been in a relationship since I was 18, we were still figuring it out. It was never straightforward, easygoing, like, no. So I can see why people are kind of scared of commitment. However, you know, at the same time, some people really truly want a companion and want somebody to go through life with. All the big major moves that I've made in my life, I've gotten to go through with my husband, and he's been very supportive of everything that I do. And he knows, like, with me being in this industry, he knows it comes with a lot, and he's accepted it. He's never once complained. And, you know, for me, like, I can say, like, honestly, I don't know what, you know, if we weren't together 6 or 7 years ago, like, would I still do things the same? Would I still be brave enough to go to Florida? He's the one who pushed me. Would I still be brave enough to drive across the country by myself? I don't know, because he was there with me. So, I mean, I think it's really your preference, but never put a woman down because she's dating around. Like, just because she's dating around doesn't mean she's sleeping around. And even if she is, who cares? That's her, it's something for her to claim, not for you to put down and the next person to put down. And I think that, you know, that is the thing in this day and age for us women, us young women, you know, with the Me Too movement. Like, we really got to step up and show that we are just as strong as you men, even if you don't think that we are, because we are. You know, we can do whatever we want to do. So, you know, I just want to wrap things up, and those are just some of the topics. I mean, I could go on and on about a lot of unspoken topics, which brings me to my next portion of the video. Well, actually the end. I kind of want to open up this discussion, and I want to hear from you guys. I want you guys to send me questions, comments, concerns, whatever about being a millennial, what you think embodies a millennial. And I want you to send them to me so that way in my next video, like part 2 of this, I can respond. So the door is open. I want to have an open conversation, and I don't want to argue. I just want to hear what you guys think, because we're all going to think something different because we're in different stages of our lives. Even if we're the same age, we're in different stages. So I want to hear, and I want to open the door. So remember to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and like my Facebook page at Nicole Knows, all of the same. And just remember to leave your comments. And thank you for watching and listening.